Hey traders, TG Watkins here. It's January 13th when I'm recording this, Monday. Hope you guys are doing well. And, I'm feeling it. The sentiment out there is, man, this market is having a hard time. It's been so long. I'm about ready to go to cash. I'm just going to go bearish. In fact, I had a couple subscribers today ask me like, hey, when are you going to start shorting some stocks? And I said, this is the worst time to try and short some stocks because the market's already down. It has been down. It's been down for 6 weeks and breadth is already at an extreme low. So this is not the time that you want to start looking to short anything. In fact, let me show you one quick thing right here before I get going. This is the put call ratio. If I happen to zoom in here, now, I do like to look at the moving average of the put-call ratio, which is not really where I want it to be, but the put-call ratio itself did hit 1 today, and the market did bounce, okay? So we did actually get a fairly strong move to the upside after it gapped down. So I'm not saying like, we're going to totally go up from here, but hey, that is something to pay attention to. The other thing is if you do look at the S&P, SPX here, you can see that this is on its lows, and this is also, I put out a market update video over the weekend on YouTube, so if you guys want to come check that out, just look at the previous video. And I said this has actually been fairly orderly as far as its pullback, and today, yes, we went outside of the trend line, and look what happened. It actually got snapped back up to the upside and now closed within that channel and within that trend line. So at least for today, it's showing me that there's, it doesn't really want to go that much lower from here. Now, the reason I called it, bounce or die is because we have the PPI tomorrow. So by the time you guys see this video, PPI will most likely already be out. And then we have CPI on Wednesday. And so a couple things could be happening here. Either, if you think conspiracy theory, that kind of stuff, the market could be walking itself down in preparation, and then they know what the CPI is going to be, and then they just built themselves plenty of room to go to the upside. So that's the bullish case, is that the market's already worked its way down and they're waiting for CPI to come out. Now, if it happens to be worse, honestly, I don't know what to say, because if we look at the breadth readings and we look here, this is the number of stocks over their 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day. And this is something I keep talking about for everybody out there. We have been seeing that the 20-day has bottomed. In fact, the number of stocks over the 20-day SMA has been trending up, even though the market continues to trend down. So I think there's something going on there. Now we're just kind of waiting for the 50-day, and that's a little bit different metric. That's going to happen later. But the other thing to note is basically it has not gone down. It's barely gone down compared to what the market has done. And so I'm looking at this and I still think that this is looking like it wants to bottom. And you could even see here, we even got a little bit of a tick up on the 200-day. And yes, it's been trending down. So I think that number one, CPI, and number two, the inauguration, a lot of people are talking about that. We'll have to see if that's going to matter, if that's actually, okay, we're going to turn the page on the book and see if that's going to really matter. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know how much further down the market or even the internals of the market can go down right now without bouncing. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, the market needs to bounce. And I don't just mean like a 2-day bounce. I mean like, we should probably get a pretty amazing move to the upside. And I'm even wondering if we're going to make it all the way back up to here to the upper trend line and then some. So that would be fantastic if we could do something like that. And that would really light a fire underneath some stuff. The other thing to look at is if you look at the RSP, this is the equal weight of the S&P. Again, notice today's bounce. We opened with a gap down and we bounced. And look at this trend line. It is perfectly holding that trend line. So this is something I'm very interested to see if it can hold, because this market has been down for 6 weeks. And then if we look at the IWM, it's kind of the same story. We opened with a little bit of a gap down. It bounced. We're actually up a little bit. In fact, we are over. Now, this is not something I can count on yet, but it is something to note. We are back over the 15-minute 50 since the time we broke the 15-minute 50 last week. And again, we are still on this trend line on the daily chart. And if this does work, notice that we have price down and the Moxie indicator up. So I'm seeing divergences start to come into here. And it just looks to me like things are pretty extreme to the downside. So for those of you who are thinking like, oh my gosh, we need to start shorting, that's kind of my capitulation indicator. And for those of you kind of being like, yeah, I'm really tired of this market. Like, man, nothing's happening, nothing's working. Yeah, that's true. Things have been pretty hard because the market, everything's been down. Like, look, the number of stocks over their 50-day SMA are 17%, okay? Like, everything's down. So I think we should be building a watch list and getting ready for the names that are going to rebound, because yeah, it's been pretty tough in through here. And let's see if PPI and CPI are the as the trigger, you know, if that's what's going to happen. You know, we've got names that are looking pretty good. In fact, I'm staring at one right underneath here that has been added to the S&P 400, and it's looking great. A huge amount of volume is coming into it, and it looks poised. I made another alert to the Moxie traders today. I said, let's add more to this name because it's looking really, really good. So come on over, guys. You know, we got a trial if you want to come check it out. Otherwise, this is the kind of market that I excel at. And I think that we've gone through a pretty good patch of weakness, but I'm looking at this and I think the market is starting to shape up to the upside. And I'll show you one more thing before I go. You guys can see this on my Twitter, my X page, and through here. And this, if you look at all the arrows, these arrows line up with each other, okay? And this is that breadth reading that I'm talking about. And all but one, so 1, 2, 3, and we're at 4. So these all showed that that was the bottom of the market. The only one that where the market went lower was actually during the bear market. And I don't think we're in a bear market. I think this is just a pullback, just a really big pullback. And if you look at this, every other time that this breadth reading has gotten to this spot was a turnaround in the market. So that's where I'm leaning on. But I think we're going to need to actually see a trigger. So let's see if I am right or wrong, and if we get a bounce or the market dies this week, okay? So by the time I put out another video, we shall have our answer, and we'll see if I have egg on my face or if we're taking a victory lap. All right, guys? So we'll see you at the next one. You take care. Hey, TG here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like or comment below. Also, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my market analysis. Or you can join my free newsletter with the link in the description. Good trading, and I'll see you at the next video.